Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us, that's right. I love this American ride.
And Happy New Year to you, America. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Thank you for joining us today. And by the way, thank you for making us your choice on the radio, noon to 3 Eastern. And what an insane weekend we all just survived. What an insane weekend, not only for the world, but especially for the United States of America. We've got a lot of stuff happening on today's show. We're going to be checking in with our good buddy, General John Teichert, former Air Force general, commander at Edwards Air Force Base and Joint Base Andrews. He's going to give us the blow-by-blow of what happened down in Venezuela, which is still resonating across really the world. Also, Vickie Paladino, who serves on the New York City Council, is going to drop by, and she has a lot to say about Zohran Mamdani, who was sworn in on January the 1st, and wants New Yorkers to embrace the warmth of collectivism. So we'll talk to the city councilwoman about that. And my good buddy Rob Astorino, one of the Newxmax hosts, is going to be here in just a little while. We're also going to be taking your calls, getting your reaction to really this new doctrine that's come out of the Trump administration, the Trump doctrine. And a lot of folks are just curious right now, and they're wondering, okay, what does Venezuela have to do with America first? Well, I'm going to explain that to you here momentarily, because there's something much greater afoot, and there are things that we don't know about. I have my suspicions, but I'm going to share those with you in just a moment. But this was not about drugs. I mean, part of it was about drugs, but the reality is there's much more at stake here. Now, you have to excuse my normally docile tones, because I think it was like last Wednesday, last New Year's Eve, whenever New Year's Eve was, yours truly came down with the I'm not sure what they call it, but I've been dealing with this throat thing, this upper respiratory thing, and I have been doing NyQuil shots like nobody's business. So I'm not even sure what day it is. All I know is that I'm wearing pants, so that's a good thing. So bear with me as we get through today. And the voice will hopefully persevere. We don't have a plan B, so we're going to have to make it work. Maybe we could get Miss Patty from Statesville to substitute for us. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926. Again, that's 901-260-5926. Now, what I find interesting about all of this hullabaloo over what happened down in Venezuela, and people are calling it regime change. How dare the president? It's regime change. No, actually it's not. You see, Nicolas Maduro actually lost his last election in a landslide. So he decided to just ignore the vote totals and retain control of the country. That's what happened here. So there is no regime change. We're arresting this guy because of an indictment on American soil in an American courtroom. And all of that is happening today in New York City. But again, as I mentioned at the start of the show, I don't believe I don't believe the drugs and stopping the drugs was the motivating factor here. And I say that because when you look at the top nations where drugs are flowing into America, Venezuela is not one of the top. As a matter of fact, that would be Mexico, and then it would be Colombia. I mean, Venezuela is on the list, but it's not like the number one. If this was really about stopping the flow of drugs, well, we would have invaded Mexico. But that's not what happened here. Now, there has been a lot of talk and a lot of scuttlebutt about China. And China and Russia, but predominantly China, has been trying to get a foothold in our hemisphere. And that's why they have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with the Venezuelans. And a lot of it has to do with oil. And even then, we've got plenty of oil. So it's not so much oil. It's not really about oil. I mean, it's great that we're going to be taking over the oil production there. Don't get me wrong. That's great. And stopping the flow of drugs is great. These are all great things, but that was not the motivating factor. The motivating factor, I believe, is the relationship they have with China and Iran. And both countries have very disturbing ties. If you've read any of Joel Rosenberg's novels, and I'm a big fan of Rosenberg, we've had him on the show a number of times, and Rosenberg has this uncanny ability within his novels to write storylines that eventually turn out to be true in real life in some form or fashion. And it's really sort of eerie. And in a lot of his novels, he writes about Venezuela and how Venezuela really becomes a world player. And Venezuela is really the focus of where attacks on America have been crafted and have evolved. And there is a lot of concern within military circles that China or even Russia developing those relationships could put nuclear weapons in Venezuela. Much like the Russians, the old Soviets wanted to do with Cuba back in the day during the JFK years. Many of you remember 13 days in September. We came very close to a nuclear war during that time. And there was no way that we were going to allow nuclear missiles to be placed in Cuba. So much so that we did the big naval blockade, much like we've been doing the blockade down in Venezuela. So I think that probably has more to do with it than anything else. Not only that, and hear me on this, there's been a lot of scuttlebutt about these the electronics that were used in many of the ballot boxes, and much of that is actually made in Venezuela. So there has been some other scuttlebutt, and if you've noticed that Maduro looks pretty happy in all the photos. Have you seen all the photographs of him? But he looks like he's in a good mood. He's had a lot of wardrobe changes. I've seen him in like 3 or 4 different outfits, but he seems to be in a good mood. And I'm wondering if deals have already been hatched, if deals have already been made, which is one of the reasons why the missus got whacked too, because they can certainly use her for leverage. But I do wonder if Maduro is about to spill the beans. We know that a lot of members of Congress on both sides of the political aisle, Republicans and Democrats, are getting cash from Venezuela. So it could be that Maduro is about to spill the beans on all of this. And not only are we going to get hundreds of millions of dollars worth of oil out of all of this, we very well could find out once and for all how the 2020 presidential election was stolen. A lot of fascinating ways this story can go. And again, I'm just throwing this out as these are my theories about why all of this went down. But as someone pointed out, I think Miss Helen pointed out earlier today, that the entire raid to take out Maduro and his regime, it was 4 hours? Which was about half the amount of time we needed to find out that the kid on Stranger Things was gay. I mean, that was pretty brilliant. And all these folks out there talking about Pete Hegseth and talking about how hard, he's a moron. He's dumb as bricks. That guy. Really? Are you sure about that? Because what I saw was one of the most impressive feats of military action in modern American history. That was unbelievably brilliant. And I think one of the messages here to the rest of the world is, if you don't think it can happen to you, you better think again. And we've got ways to come at you that you don't even know about. And that's what I love about this. All right, we're going to take a break. Going to the phone lines as well, 901-260-5926. I know a lot of people, Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene, are enraged over all of this. Tucker has a bizarre theory that this is really about making sure gay marriage is introduced in Venezuela. Take a listen.
We can safely discount democracy as a reason for affecting regime change in Venezuela. We're not going to go kill Nicolas Maduro because we don't like the way he's treating his people. It's possible we're mad that he doesn't allow gay marriage. That is a distinct possibility, but no one will say that out loud. Not defending the regime, just saying. One of the most conservative countries in North or South or Central America. Only El Salvador really comes close, which is much smaller, of course. And by the way, the U.S.-backed opposition leader who would take Maduro's place if he were taken out is, of course, pretty eager to get gay marriage in Venezuela. So to those of you who thought this whole project was globo homo, not crazy, actually.
Why are we trying to install this woman? It makes no sense.
Well, because she'll bring gay marriage to Venezuela, and that's important. I mean, that's what we stand for.
What? No, I don't know where he's getting all of this. So now, apparently, the Trump administration is, I don't know, committed to installing gay marriage in every country around the world. That's global homo is what they're calling it. Anyway, we'll let you weigh in on Tucker Carlson as well. He's out there on this one, but again, Tucker now seems to believe that this Trump wants to make sure that gay people in Venezuela can get married. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Thought, well, just for the heck of it, I'll try this Balance of Nature. But I thought, all right, I'll do it for 1 month, and then I can cancel. And so I ordered it for 1 month. I have told so many people about this stuff. They think I'm crazy. So for me to say I would continue to do it means it's got to be good.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history, and it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong. To show their appreciation, they're offering special Christmas savings exclusively for our listeners. Right now, you can get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98, My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98, and a variety of blankets, comforters, and duvets starting as low as $25. Plus, there's a major blowout deal on the standard MyPillow. Get this, only $14.98. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS to unlock these wholesale prices. That includes the standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, now just $14.98, with queen sizes marked down to $18.99 and king sizes for only $1 more. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists. So if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
As Secretary Rubio stated just yesterday, this is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be used as a base of operation for our nation's adversaries and competitors and rivals of the United States. You can't turn Venezuela into the operating hub for Iran, for Hezbollah, for gangs, for Cuban intelligence agents, and other malign actors that control that country. You cannot continue to have the largest energy reserves in the world under the control of adversaries of the United States, under the control of illegitimate leaders, and not benefiting the people of Venezuela, and stolen by a handful of oligarchs inside of Venezuela.
Yeah, that's Mike Waltz over at the United Nations just minutes ago, reiterating what I just shared with you is my theory about all of this. We've got to stop China from grabbing a stronghold in South America. We just have to do that. We cannot allow that to happen. And what that means for Taiwan, we will see. But there is some speculation that we may have to jettison Taiwan if, in fact, China decides to go in and take over the country. And there are lots of shoes to fall here, and we're going to get to all of them. But I'm telling you, this was a brilliant thing that happened over the weekend. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. So I want to play some audio. Marco Rubio, our Secretary of State. Folks, wow. I am just so impressed with the work that Rubio has been doing, getting out there and defending the policies of the administration, delivering on the policies and the agenda, restoring our, I would say, our leadership within the world community, the global community. And you know what really fascinated me? When you look at all of the photographs, all of the video from this past weekend, there was one person in particular who was not there, and that was the Vice President, J.D. Vance. And it was hard not to miss him. There was a reason why Rubio was not there. And so much so that the administration had come out and put out a statement saying Rubio was doing something else somewhere else. No. The only place that Vance was supposed to be was at that meeting, right? Or at the meetings at Mar-a-Lago as all of this was going down. The fact that he was not makes me really wonder if he is in step with the Trump administration on this, because there are many people within the party and within the movement who support J.D. Vance who are strongly opposed to what happened in Venezuela. Strongly opposed. Cut number 2.
This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out. And I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences. And, you know, if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed it.
And he certainly did. He went on George Stephanopoulos' show, I call him Snuffleupagus, George Snuffleupagus over on ABC. And it was just, he just destroyed George. Cut number 6.
First of all, what's going to happen here is that we have a quarantine on their oil. That means their economy will not be able to move forward until the conditions that are in the national interest of the United States and the interest of the Venezuelan people are met. And that's what we intend to do. So that leverage remains. That leverage is ongoing. And we expect that it's going to lead to results here. We're hopeful that it does. Positive results for the people of Venezuela, but ultimately, most importantly for us, in the national interest of the United States. We will no longer have, hopefully, as we move forward here, we'll set the conditions so that we no longer have in our hemisphere a Venezuela that's the crossroads for many of our adversaries around the world, including Iran and Hezbollah, is no longer sending us drug gangs, is no longer sending us drug boats, is no longer a narco-trafficking paradise for all those drugs coming out of Colombia to going through the Caribbean and towards the United States. And obviously, we want a better future for the people of Venezuela. We want them to have an oil industry where the wealth goes to the people, not to a handful of corrupt individuals and stolen by, pirates all over the world. That's what we're working towards, and we intend to use the leverage we have to help achieve that.
Let me ask the question again. What is the legal authority for the United States to be running Venezuela?
Well, I explained to you what our goals are and how we're going to use the leverage to make it happen. As far as what our legal authority is on the quarantine, I'm very simple. We have court orders. These are sanctioned boats, and we get orders from courts to go after and seize these sanctions. So I don't know, is a court not a legal authority?
So is the United States running Venezuela right now?
Well, I've explained once again, I'll do it one more time. What we are running is the direction that this is going to moving forward. And that is, we have leverage. This leverage we are using and we intend to use. We started using already. You can see where they are running out of storage capacity. In a few weeks, they're going to have to start pumping oil unless they make changes. And that leverage that we have with the armada of boats that are currently positioned allow us to seize any sanctioned boats coming into or out of Venezuela, loaded with oil or on its way in to pick up oil, and we can pick and choose which ones we go after. We have court orders for each one. That will continue to be in place until the people who have control over the levers of power in that country make changes that are not just in the interest of the people of Venezuela, but are in the interest of the United States and the things that we care about.
All right, there you go. A little bit of Marco Rubio, our great Secretary of State, on ABC, and he actually called one of the reporters, was it CBS, called her, or NBC called her a moron. It was well-deserved. Anyway, we'll be taking your calls on this. Do you support the administration's efforts to crack down and tighten up our hemisphere? China, you're not welcome here. Russia, you're not welcome. Iran, you're sure not welcome. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all don't sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat. Owl. Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale.
Yeah, whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/
the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Stearns Radio Show. Let's go to the phone lines, 901-260-5926. We will start the day in Little Rock, Arkansas. Steve, you are the first caller of the new year. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Todd.
In other words, that's just all that to say, don't screw it up, Steve. It's got to be a good, strong call.
Well, it's another one of my conspiracy theories. I found it interesting that since Fox News supposedly paid $800 million in an out-of-court settlement on a litigation to Dominion Voting Machine, and supposedly that's what cost Tucker's coffin his job at Fox News, that neither one of them are talking much about the vote and the voting machine and wanting to get the truth out of what really went on. You would think that would kind of be important to them.
Well, you would think so, and I think there were other conservative networks as well that were in the same boat. So yeah, but I suspect that there were other issues with Tucker. So that was, again, I have no inside knowledge, but I can tell you that there was probably something else going on there.
There very well could be. My conspiracy theory for the day is I never have believed that Fox News paid any kind of settlement. I always thought that was a kind of a show litigation deal and supposedly big money payoff from a network to make everybody else shut up and quit talking about it.
Well, it could be. Again, I think that they've got a lot of money, and I mean they had the money to pay it if they wanted to pay it. But again, it's this is all. Look, we have to get the election issue settled once and for all, and if it's really troubling to me that we have Majority Leader John Thune, who simply refuses to do what needs to be done, which is to get rid of the filibuster so we can get through the SAVE Act. If we do not protect the ballot box, Republicans are going to continue losing. So we've got to get that done. And it's just, I'm telling you, Steve, it is a big, big, big problem. We've got to convince the Senate majority to do the right thing here. Steve, thank you for calling in. Thank you for listening. Let's go to Charles in Statesville, North Carolina, WSIC. Hi, Charles.
Hi, Todd, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
So Todd, I wholeheartedly support what President Trump did in Venezuela with Maduro. That being said, I was out and about this weekend watching football. Of course, the topic of discussion was, the capture of Maduro. But I'll tell you, I heard one underlying thing among people like myself and who are MAGA supporters, and it's this. Where is this same level of passion to hold people accountable and bring in the justice? When is that going to be directed for people that perpetuated the Russia hoax, perpetuated the rigged and stolen election of 2020, that weaponized justice? When are we going to see Barack Obama, Peter Strzok, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, and company, when are we going to see them arrested and walking out in handcuffs and being held accountable too? Because I just hope that they're not trying to throw the MAGA base a bone with Maduro. I saw Lindsey Graham on Air Force One with President Trump yesterday. It's all good that we got him, and we have to protect our hemisphere. But it's been 1 year, Todd, and none of these people that I mentioned have been held accountable. Not one. And we're getting sick of it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you are. You and I may be the only people in America that are sick of this. Because, again, nobody seems to be taking that seriously. I mean, it's all talk. And my issue is we've spent millions of dollars to investigate. We've apparently got the goods, if we're to believe everybody. And if we do, then why aren't we prosecuting these individuals?
Well, I'd like to know the same thing. Tomorrow is the anniversary, the 5th-year anniversary of J6, and I was there. I saw what happened, and I saw how they completely turned that on its head and lied about the actual events. And, people like Nancy Pelosi, and their cronies in the media. And it's just like nothing's being done. And you wonder, do they have something on, Kash Patel, the Pam Bondi? I just don't know. But, if they think that we're going to forget about it, because of the capture of Maduro or other bad actors, they're mistaken. I'm glad we did, but I just hope that Trump will refocus on America first, bringing people to justice, and maybe he is. I don't know, but so far I haven't seen it. And like I said, Todd, I just think people are getting frustrated.
Well, yeah, and it may be that there are other people out there. I think you and I, though, are the only people that have actually, on a pretty regular basis, been reminding people, hey, we got a big problem here. We had people in our own country who tried to overthrow a duly elected president. We just raided Venezuela, in part over that. So, again, to your point, the other thing I find interesting, Charles, is the change in attitude regarding the military. We got in, we got out of one of the most heavily fortified areas of Venezuela. I wonder, and I was thinking about this over the weekend, what would the aftermath of 9/11 look like if we actually had Donald Trump in office and we had Pete Hegseth running the Pentagon? Do you think we would have been in a 20-year war with Iraq and Afghanistan? I don't think we would have.
I don't think we would have either. I think I don't think we would have the Patriot Act. I don't think we would have any of what we had. I think that they would have been more laser focused on the people that are the threat. Maybe we wouldn't have seen the TSA patting down Ms. Johnson instead of, letting Ahmed get on the airplane. But I just think it would have all been different. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Charles, it's a good thought you raised. Real quick, I know you're close to Charlotte. And, of course, over the weekend, we got word the FBI thwarting what would have been a terrorist attack there in the Charlotte area. I just didn't realize how bad things had gotten down there in the Queen City.
Oh, it's bad, Todd. You don't have to drive too far to see, protests and everything else. And there's just, an undercurrent of resistance down there. And, yesterday they were out in the streets of Charlotte protesting Venezuela. You had all these people that have never, ever lived under communism or socialism protesting the, capturing of a brutal dictator. And yet it's the people of Venezuela that have actually lived under that are cheering. So, think about that for a second,
Charles, I want to qualify that because we saw that happening all over the country. You've got the Venezuelans, and they're cheering, celebrating, having massive parties. None of this is getting covered in the national news, by the way. We're talking thousands of people marching in the streets. But also here in this nation, you've got Venezuelans who are refugees, and they are beyond thrilled. The people that you see out there protesting, Charles, those are American communists. That's who those people are. We got to call them what they are. They're American communists, and that's why they're out there protesting.
Yeah, and they're being funded by these radical organizations. And Todd, look how quickly they organized. Within 2 hours, they were out there. They had signs made.
Yes.
Everything was organized. Everything.
Exactly. It's true. It's true. All right, Charles, I got to run, my friend. Happy New Year to you. Looking forward to the conversation in the coming months. I got a letter from our good buddy Noah down at, he owns the great radio station in Pascagoula, the News Talk station. And I got a letter from one of his listeners, and I wanted to share this with you. And I'm going to answer this guy. His name is Calvin, and Calvin is a regular listener. And I know that because he said, "Dear Todd, I'm a regular listener and fan, but today I was puzzled and hurt. You told me over and over again by radio that this is a Christian country. Yes, all the founders were Christians, and the majority of Americans are Christian, but just barely. 40% in a recent poll I saw were no religion, atheist, or agnostic. That sounds like the mindset so many Islamists utilize to justify the killing of non-Muslims and their theocracies in Iran, or i.e. Iran. Recently, I retired from family practice after 60 years. The first 40 years, I worked 80-plus hours a week, and the last 20, only 50 hours a week. I worked holidays, holy days, missed my children's birthdays, soccer games, etc. I earned my stripes as a first-class citizen. I dare say I contributed more to my community than you did, and you do. Yet you attempt to invalidate my belief system because yours is better, because I do not believe in the hypothesis of Jesus. Yes, I am Jewish. Well, let me stop here for a second and try to explain this. And first of all, I appreciate any of you who take the time to write me a letter. And if you give me permission, as Calvin did, to read it on air, I'll read it on air. But Calvin, I can promise you that I've said nothing negative against the Jewish people at all. As a matter of fact, I am a firm supporter of the Jewish community. I, yours truly, Todd Starnes, Gentile, happen to be an honorary member of the Jewish Republican Club in Memphis. And as far as I know, I'm a member in good standing. Although there was an incident when I brought some barbecue. I didn't know about the pork thing. But I learned. I'm kosher now. Well, not really, but anyway, I digress. But all that to say, just because I say that America is meant to be a Christian nation doesn't mean that Jews are not welcome or anybody else. I'm saying that our teachings were founded on the Old and New Testament, so there is a Judeo-Christian philosophy at play here. But it's under the Christian founding of the nation. Let me just qualify that even further. Our nation was founded by Protestants, right? They were escaping England, and they were escaping religious persecution in England, in the United Kingdom. So overwhelmingly, our founding fathers were Protestants. Let me continue here. My community contributes mightily to the greatness of the country in the arts, science, commerce, professions, etc., way out of the proportion to our numbers. One of the first contributors was Chaim Solomon, who donated his entire fortune so Washington could win the pivotal battle in Yorktown and defeat the British. Solomon died penniless. There's nothing in the Constitution that makes this a Christian nation, unless I badly failed my civics class. Todd, I appreciate your angst. This is barely a Christian country, and by recent accounts, sliding fast, which, by the way, I do not like. We do not want Islam to replace Judeo-Christian moral values. It is evil. But come on, Todd. Why do you have to offend the Jewish community? We are not second class. Calvin, what are you talking about here? Where have I want someone to explain to me how yours truly has offended the Jewish community. When have I ever said anything that would give you pause to think that I was treating Jews as second-class citizens? It's simply not right. That's not correct. He goes on to say, you can do better, Todd. We share a belief system, and I understand the old and the new. I get that. He says that should seal us as the foundation of a great America, even if we do not accept the hypothesis of Jesus. Kindest regards, Calvin. P.S. I hope this letter gets to you. I am still a listener, so talk to me about your answer by radio or email, and I'm doing that. But again, Calvin, it's because of the Christian belief system that people of all faiths are able to practice their religion without fear of persecution. The fact of the and look, if the Mayflower were filled with Jewish pilgrims, then I would say we were founded to be a Jewish nation. But we're not. We're founded to be a Christian nation, one nation under God. And when you read the writings of all of our founding fathers, let me pause for a moment. A majority of our founding fathers, you understand that they too found their hope and they put their faith and trust in Almighty God. And that is not a slight to any other religion at all. Period. As a matter of fact, this radio station is proudly pro-Israel, and I catch a lot of flack for that these days. A lot. As a matter of fact, I would contend that WPMO down there in Pascagoula, Mississippi, WPMO stands with Israel. So, Calvin, I appreciate the letter, but I really fear it's off base because we have done nothing to offend the Jewish people on this program except promote pulled pork. And I cannot apologize for that. I just can't. All right, we got to take a break. 901-260-5926. Thank you for the letter, though, Calvin. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for listening to WPMO. 901-260-5926. We'll be right back.
It's Radio Free America. It's the Todd Starnes Show.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. You know, you have lots of choices for cell phone service with new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American and believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. The good news is you can switch to Patriot Mobile today without sacrificing quality or service. Worried about coverage? Don't be. Patriot Mobile uses all three major U.S. networks. If you have service in this country today, you'll have as good or better coverage with Patriot Mobile. Think switching is a hassle? Well, it's not. You can keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's 100% U.S.-based team will get you activated in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Stuck in a contract or owe money on your phones? No worries. Patriot Mobile has a contract buyout program. This is how we win, folks, by aligning our spending with our values. Every dollar we spend matters. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Todd and get a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Hi, this is Todd Starnes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history, and it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong. To show their appreciation, they're offering special Christmas savings exclusively for our listeners. Right now, you can get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98, My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98, and a variety of blankets, comforters, and duvets starting as low as $25. Plus, there's a major blowout deal on the standard MyPillow. Get this, only $14.98. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS to unlock these wholesale prices. That includes the standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, now just $14.98, with queen sizes marked down to $18.99 and king sizes for only $1 more. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody. Good to have you with us. Let's go to the phone lines here. 901-260-5926. Ocala, Florida. Sonny is on the line. Hey, Sonny, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Todd. This stuff with Maduro and what's going on here, I wish somebody would just study history a little bit. There's a thing called the Monroe Doctrine, which was signed onto by all the countries surrounding, and basically in this hemisphere in the southern part of it. And it's not the first time. How about Panama, when we got rid of the dictator there? That wasn't Trump. That was somebody else. But they're just so totally wrong. It's unbelievable.
Well, Sonny, let me say this. One of the reasons why, and I suspect this may be the case, I'm curious to hear your thought on this. One of the reasons why is they're just not teaching our kids American history. And you're right, what President James Monroe did, and they saw what was going to happen all the way back in 1823. And they said, you know what, we can't be having these European countries coming over and colonizing our hemisphere. So that's going to stop now. And that's, in essence, what became the Monroe Doctrine. But, Sonny, they're just not teaching this to the kids.
They're not teaching a lot of things to our children. And this is something that is totally amiss, and everybody seems to want to look the other way. I don't get it. We're losing our country little by little, and all of a sudden, one of these days, we'll have a Maduro sitting in the White House.
Sonny,
Maduro type.
Sonny, to that point, look how long it took for Venezuela to go from one of the wealthiest countries in the world to eating zoo animals. It took one generation. One generation. That's all it took. Sonny, got to leave it there, my friend. Great to hear from you. And that's the warning to the rest of us. It doesn't matter how prosperous we are. All it takes is one generation. You're going from drinking, $5 lattes at Starbucks to eating a puma down at the zoo. And nobody wants that. All right, got to take a break. Hang tight, everybody. Hour 2 of the big show coming up next.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that reveals how soft totalitarianism is creeping into everyday life. Through powerful stories from people who lived under communism, it warns of what happens when we surrender truth for safety. This is a must-watch for anyone who loves faith, family, and freedom. Stream the series now, only on Angel Guild, by visiting angel.com/starnes.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
From Affirm Films and director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story. When John O'Leary suffers burns over 100% of his body, it's a battle for survival. But through the care and support of community heroes, John's resilience leads him to discover what it means to truly live.
The most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire.
Soul on Fire. Rated PG, parental guidance suggested. Now playing. More information is available at soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on Fire.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul declared the month of January as Muslim American Heritage Month. She ordered 16 landmarks across the state to be illuminated in green, the same color palette used by Hamas. Among the buildings illuminated to honor Muslims, One World Trade Center Freedom Tower, the tallest building in New York City. The tower stands where the Twin Towers once stood, towers brought down by Muslims in the name of the religion of peace. Critics are enraged. City Councilwoman Vickie Paladino called it disgusting. The mayor said Muslims are resilient, compassionate, and contribute much to New York. Coming up in September, the nation will commemorate the 25th anniversary of those terrorist attacks. Every year, giant beams of light are illuminated to remind Americans of what we lost on that day. Don't be surprised if on September 11th, those beams of light are Hamas green. I've got much more to say about this at ToddStarnes.com.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
And hello, everybody. I am your host, Todd Starnes, your voice of truth and hope across the fruited plain. Happy New Year to you, America. Wow, over the weekend, some great football action. Dylan, I don't know if you noticed, the Starnes family featured in the Ole Miss victory reel. Did you see the videos?
Yes, I got to see those. That's pretty cool.
Little Starnes, Little Starnes is taller than all of us now, but the whole family there.
Yeah, that's a super cool opportunity, and they won. That's Ole Miss. That is, they won.
Yes, I'm just concerned that your uncle did not. Maybe my invitation got lost in the mail.
Possibly.
Did you get an invite?
No, I didn't check the junk mail though. So maybe
that could have been it. That could have been it. How about that hottie toddy?
Hottie toddy. I think some people are saying they're going to go all the way, but they have to run into Indiana.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's
going to be the winner.
What a great game that was.
Right.
And it was pretty awesome. Anytime you can just crush the Crimson Tide, it's a great day.
I would argue both Georgia and Alabama going down is like the best New Year's that we could start off with.
It put a little pep in my step, or it could have been the NyQuil. I was doing a lot of shots over the weekend.
Probably a little both.
By the way, real quick, over 4,000 college football players now entering the transfer portal.
Oh, boy.
I mean, how long before Trump actually steps in and saves college football from itself? That's what I want to know.
Hope sooner than later.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. That's not. We got to get that fixed. Welcome, everybody. Great to have you with us. A lot going on this hour of the program. By the way, coming up in just a little while, we're going to be talking to retired Lieutenant General John Teichert, used to be the base commander at Edwards Air Force Base and Joint Base Andrews, good friend of this program. Also, New York City Councilwoman Vickie Paladino is going to drop by. But right now, I want to go right away to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line and welcome a great American patriot, Rob Astorino, host of an incredible show, Saturday Agenda on Newxmax. Rob, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Todd. Yeah, I loved the college football over the last week. And, of course, the NFL. That game last night, I don't know if you saw that Steelers-Ravens game. That was a crazy fourth quarter and finish.
So this is, there's a Catholic storyline here. It turns out before the game, Pittsburgh had a priest bless the end zone where the guy missed the kick.
I know. Isn't that crazy? And I feel bad for the kicker, too. He's a rookie. And he had written a prayer that he read before the game to himself. And then, of course, he reread the prayer. He said he reread the prayer after the game anyway. But, Pittsburgh's a pretty Catholic city. And the Rooney family, who had owned it for so long, they were very, very Catholic and very involved in the Catholic Church. So to have a priest bless the end zone is pretty funny. And, hey, maybe it worked.
You're going to have to – I think I've got this story. If I remember the story correctly, it's not just Pittsburgh, but, New Orleans. And my dad got transferred down to New Orleans when I was a kid. So the Saints became a favorite team of mine, as a teenager. But they were so bad, people used to wear grocery bags over their face. Remember that? And they called themselves the Aints because they couldn't win.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that was because they believed that voodoo queens or these voodoo people had placed curses on the stadium, the Superdome curse.
Those were, even though Manning was a great quarterback, those were some horrible Saints teams.
Oh, brutal! It's just brutal. So anyway, you got to love the Steelers, and what a great game. And you're right, it was a nice escape after all the chaos of the news cycle the past couple of days.
Yeah, that's true. It was. I mean, it's just been crazy. Obviously, look, Trump. The greatest thing about Donald Trump is there will never be a boring day. There will never be, even when it says on his schedule he has no public events today. For the next 4 days, he has no public events. Something's going to happen.
Oh.
Boy, did it on Saturday.
Hey, Rob, are you originally from the New York City area?
Yeah, born and raised just north in Westchester County where I live. And but I I have been in New York City as in business and work for a lot of my adult life, other than the eight years when I was Westchester County executive. But other than that, I've been, a commuter into New York City and love New York City, just hate what is happening now.
It's funny. We were joking earlier today about I had actually lived in Brooklyn for 15 years, and I lived in, believe it or not, Park Slope, which is probably the most liberal area of Brooklyn. And
you're the last person I would ever expect to be wandering the streets of Park Slope with all the hipsters.
It's funny because I sort of exude this whole Republican vibe, and I would walk by and people were like, "Oh God, we're being gentrified." If this is, there goes the neighborhood.
I just saw a poll, by the way, that New York City residents, a majority of New York City residents that were polled, think that they love the way the city is going. They love the socialism. And 15% of those think that they have not gone far enough left. So this is a city that obviously elected Mamdani, who is going to be the biggest disaster and a real experiment in not just New York, but in American politics. And we forget about Katie Wilson, who just got sworn in Seattle, by the way. She is way over her head. I watched her inauguration speech. I mean, it's it's incredible that she would be taking over Seattle, but she is. She's a community organizer, just like Mamdani. They never did a thing in their life, and now they're running major U.S. cities. So it's going to be an interesting experiment, and very costly one. But hopefully, it's an eye opener on what this country is, what it's been built on, why it's successful versus the failures that we're seeing. I mean, Mamdani coming out and condemning. Not only condemning Trump, but also putting his arms around Maduro. I mean, this guy's gone full Marxist. We knew that. He's not covering up anymore. He ain't like the Saints. He ain't putting the bag over his head. He's proud of what he is. And so we're going to see. We'll see what America has in store.
I was, to your point, I thought that he would sort of, hedge a little bit of, the verbiage during the inaugural address, but he just rip that Band-Aid off. I want to play this soundbite when he's talking about individualism. Cut number 4, please.
I welcome the change. For too long, those fluent in the good grammar of civility have deployed decorum to mask agendas of cruelty. Many of these people have been betrayed by the established order. But in our administration, their needs will be met. Their hopes and dreams and interests will be reflected transparently in government. They will shape our future. And if for too long these communities have existed as distinct from one another, we will draw this city closer together. We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. If our campaign demonstrated that the people of New York yearn for solidarity, then let this government foster it. Because no matter what you eat, how you pray, or where you come from, the words that most define us are the two we all share: New Yorkers.
All right, Rob, your take on what we just heard from the mayor.
Oh, I got goosebumps. I'm so excited. So, but he is a very good speaker. And, I watched him, and I actually said on the air months and months and months ago that he was going to win that primary. He was going to catch and beat Cuomo. And the reason is he excites people. Let's give him his due, okay? He's a good speaker. He presents well. He talks in platitudes, which is what that speech was. And he reminds me of Barack Obama in many ways. He really does. Somebody that people want to project goodness on and excitement about and a cause to get behind. And so that was Obama, right? His big, we're one country, blah, 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 blah. But he was a Trojan horse. And all of the bad seeds that he planted, the racism that he ruled upon, when he was president, and just the drift to the left, and just all the bad things about the Obama presidency that, bloomed into the garden. And then the Biden people around him were all Obama people. This is what's happening right now in New York. And, where you are in Memphis or across the bridge in Arkansas or anywhere else in this country, people are probably like, well, who cares about New York? Who cares about New York City? Let it burn. The problem is what happens there with this guy, with Mamdani, is a spark to too many people in this country. Too many people are ignorant, but they're controlling a major party right now in this country, and the Democrats. And you're going to have the Chuck Schumers of the world, who are supposed to be the adults in the room. They are so scared of their left that they're just going to be the yes people. They're going to throw money and policy, whatever they want, just so they can stay in power themselves. And they're going to feed the beast, and it's going to get worse and worse. And that's why it's a very dangerous experiment, but it's one that's happening right now, and it's got to be snuffed out.
Yeah,
but it's scary.
Newsmax host Rob Astorino joining us on the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. And, the other concerning factor is New York is really the communications hub for the nation. And so the spin that's going to be coming out surrounding this socialist move and socialist movement, I think, is going to be off the charts. I thought it was funny, and maybe you could weigh in on this. They were promoting this huge, block party celebrating Mamdani, all this food and festivities, and it turned out to be a complete dud.
Well, it's a lie like everything else he says and it will do, right? It's a socialism lie. This is only for the few of us who are going to control everything. We're behind the barricades. The rest of you people, we fooled you. And we're going to take your money, by the way. And you ain't getting free buses. So this is, I think, a perfect, paradox of what we're going to be dealing with right now. This is, again, this matter. What happens in New York City now over the next 4 years, it matters to the rest of America.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, the communications, the finance, all that kind of stuff. That's almost secondary. If he takes hold and this sprouts and this becomes, little Mamdanis are all over the country now, and they start to win, this is a very dangerous, perilous time for this country going forward.
When you look back at what just happened in Venezuela, that all started back in the, mid-1990s. So within a generation, you went from having one of the most prosperous democracies in the world, to a situation where the people are forced to eat food out of the local zoo. It's amazing how quickly you can lose your freedom and lose your liberty.
Yeah, and too many quote educated people don't understand that.
Yeah.
I saw they were putting on video of the protests against Trump yesterday and what he quote did and dictator, blah, blah, blah. What they weren't really showing in Times Square and in other places like Miami were the Venezuelan flags of people jumping for joy like they'd been liberated and they could go home again. And I love the comments by the former Venezuelans, or I guess still Venezuelans who are here in the U.S., that they were just shouting back at these imbeciles. And they were highly, quote, highly educated. I love that. They're overeducated, white, liberal, rich imbeciles that have no clue. And they were being shouted at by those who went through the oppression that nothing what you're talking about. And you didn't see a lot of that. What you saw was the anti-Trump protest.
Yeah, you're right. Real quick, we've got to leave it there, Rob, but you're doing just a terrific job on Newsmax. Isn't it refreshing that we have a cable news channel that we can talk about these kinds of issues?
Yeah, because if you watch the networks or you watch the other cable channels, you're not getting any of this stuff. You're getting the spin that is, again, part parcel of the Democratic Party, which is very dangerous.
Yeah, well said. Rob, we'd love to get you back on sometime soon.
Anytime, Todd. Talk to you soon.
All right, the great Rob Astorino, everybody, Newsmax TV host. You got to check him out. And he also fills in for me a time or two on the Todd Starnes Show there on Newsmax, too. All right, we've got to take a quick break. 901-260-5926. Again, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
About to back up and bring it. You're with Todd Starnes.
From director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story.
They said you had no chance, but here you are.
Starring Joel Courtney, John Corbett, Stephanie Shostak, Macy McLean, with Devon Franklin and William H. Macy.
If you focus exactly on loving the life that you're living right now, and not the life that you think you could have had or should have had, that's the whole deal right there.
Soul on Fire. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing. For tickets, go to soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on fire.
Grandma's Kitchen, where laughter and warm meals mingle. Each bite is a journey through generations. As you gather around the table, complement the meal with Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements. Our veggies supplement, made from 15 ingredients like garlic, onion, and cayenne pepper, can easily be opened and added to your favorite dishes, like homemade soups or dips. Not to mention our fruit supplement, which is made from 16 ingredients like banana, strawberries, and mango, making it a great addition to your homemade smoothies. So the next time you gather with family, enjoy Balance of Nature supplements as an addition to your favorite dishes. Start your journey with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your preferred set as a new preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all three of the main networks. Patriot Mobile's all-U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Todd. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT, code Todd. Hi, this is Todd Starnes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history, and it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong. To show their appreciation, they're offering special Christmas savings exclusively for our listeners. Right now, you can get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98, My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98, and a variety of blankets, comforters, and duvets starting as low as $25. Plus, there's a major blowout deal on the standard MyPillow. Get this, only $14.98. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS to unlock these wholesale prices. That includes the standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, now just $14.98, with queen sizes marked down to $18.99 and king sizes for only $1 more. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, welcome back. This is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926, if you want to give us a call. Had our good buddy Tony Perkins from Family Research Council on my Newxmax show the other night. They are really after Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, of course, now doubling down, and Chick-fil-A says they are going to embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion. Let's take a listen to that conversation. Tony Perkins, Family Research Council president, joins us now. Tony, good to see you. Now, you guys have been leading the charge with sort of outing Chick-fil-A here. What can you tell us about their woke policies?
Well, Todd, as you just pointed out, the tide has turned on DEI. We have major corporations, Target, we've got Coca-Cola, we've got others that are moving away from DEI, but yet we have Chick-fil-A that really has dug in on this, which is quite astounding, given their, as you pointed out, their faith background. I mean, they have a constituency, a customer base that, not only likes their chicken, but if you go back about 13 years when their founder, who's no longer alive, took a stand on marriage, that's really what put them on the map, because they began to be boycotted by those who were pushing this leftist agenda. And they said, no, we stand for marriage between a man and a woman. And you might remember Governor Huckabee, then Governor Huckabee, now ambassador to Israel, supported him. We did. And it's quite astounding that they are stuck in this DEI rut.
Tony, do you regret supporting Chick-fil-A?
Well, first off, no. I mean, I would support any entity that stands up for biblical values, and that's what their founder, Truett Cathy, did, and so I supported them. Now they've changed. Clearly, they've changed. I thought they were going to come back to an understanding of what is right and what is wrong, a biblical understanding, and hold to that in their values as a corporation. Even I've had conversations with some of their corporate leaders, but these latest revelations about celebrating same-sex marriage at some of their stores clearly shows that they have not. I mean, I don't think they understand, Todd, what many other corporations understand, that the wages of DEI are death, business-wise. And so I think more than the government weighing in on this, I think consumers need to say, hey, I'll pass on that chicken sandwich. I'll have a burger, or I'll go to another chicken establishment if that's what you want to do. It's one thing to hold yourself out as a faith-based company, but then to embrace values that are counter to that, that's the problem here.
It's an interesting thought, and I'm wondering, if you are a person of faith, do you feel betrayed by Chick-fil-A now that they've decided to embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion? 901-260-5926, our telephone number. We'll take your calls on that. 901-260-5926. Hang tight, got to take a break. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And
And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID, and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNES and you're going to save an extra 10%.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know, Dylan, I think I still have a hangover from the NyQuil shots. I just had this, like, deja vu experience. Like, it was weird. I was supposed to do something that maybe I haven't done yet that I forgot to do, and I can't remember what it is.
Wow. That's probably the most terrifying thing, other than maybe seeing your sleep paralysis demon while you're still awake.
It's driving me insane right now. And here's how bad it is. I'm doing the throat coat tea, and I think I've got the original with slippery elm.
Wow.
So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm getting some sort of a high.
I thought that was supposed to help you.
I don't know. I should have called in today. This is the problem. I hate being away from the microphone.
Yeah.
And I should have just stayed home and gotten better. You know, I'm also on a major book deadline.
Yep.
And I had all these. There was one day where I completely slept through the entire day. I think it was Friday.
That's Well, I know you, and I know that you would rather do the show from your bed than miss work. So you're very hard worker.
It's, it is what it is. I remember what it is now. Thank you. Yeah. See, I was able to work through the issue.
You're welcome. We
don't do this very often, but I need to do this. Our friends at Patriot Talk 920 in Houston, they were the very first station. Well, they carried our show and did a wonderful job. And we love our partnership and our relationship and friendship with Matt Velasquez and the great team at Patriot Talk. They are celebrating their 2-year anniversary, and we want to celebrate with them. And I know there are many of you who listen to us in the Houston area on Patriot Talk. So here's what we're going to do today. If you're calling in from Patriot Talk, number one, I want you to give Patriot Talk a huge shout out because we love radio on this show. And we know that local radio is so vitally important. We're going to give you a chance to give a shout out to Matt and the great team at Patriot Talk 920. And you know what? Just as a way of saying happy anniversary, if you're a Houston caller and you get in on air, I'm going to give you a signed copy of Culture Jihad, How to Stop the Left from Killing America. So our telephone number, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Well, let's go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. Our good buddy Steve Gill, publisher of TriStarDaily.com, joins us. Steve, a Happy New Year to you, my friend.
Happy New Year, and man, it's been a crazy first 5 days, hasn't it?
It has been insane. Absolutely insane.
By the way, there's some breaking news. President Trump, who renamed Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America, has now apparently decided that Venezuela should be known as Trump-Venezuela, and that Caracas will henceforth be known as Car-a-Lago.
Oh, I like that. It's got a nice ring to it. Nothing wrong with the seaside villa. And wow. Okay. Well, breaking news here on the Todd Stearns radio show. There you go. You know, Steve, as we're following all of the developments with what's happening in Venezuela, what's happening with New York City and Mamdani, we just had Rob Astorino on from Newxmax. You know, the reality is we are now launching full bore into election time, midterms right around the corner, and I'm wondering how things are going to play out. You know, MTG, last day up on Capitol Hill. How do you think this is all going to go for the Republicans?
You know, I think the economy is ultimately going to be what matters most to people. You know, how they feel about their pocketbooks come, primary season, come general election season next November, and we're a long way from that. But I think that the winds will be blowing in the right direction for Republicans as we see the benefits of the big, beautiful bill start to kick in, the lower taxes, the fact that we avoided the higher taxes that the Democrats would have foisted upon us had we not passed the big, beautiful bill. I think the fact that you're going to see Jerome Powell exit from the Fed and we will see lower interest rates, which will help the mortgage rates, it will help rental rates, it will help people buying cars. So all of these things are going to move in the direction that will benefit the Republicans. And then as oil prices and bread prices and milk prices and other come down, people will feel the benefits in their pocketbooks as well of lower energy prices, which are probably going to even intensify after what's been happening in Venezuela. So I think the economy is going to be the issue that's going to matter most, and the fact that Democrats are wanting to march in the streets and support a dictator and maybe have margaritas with illegal aliens and support Somali daycare centers. I think in the long run, those are going to have less impact than the economy by the time Republicans roll into the midterms, and I think that bodes well for Republicans.
You know, another big issue that we've heard from so many of our younger listeners, those Gen Alphas and Gen Zers out there, is the affordability issue. And there's a report out from the National Association of Realtors. They say that housing prices are coming down, the interest rates are coming down, and this is going to be an incredibly healthy market over the next little while for young people to get out there and buy that first starter home.
Well, and Todd, we know that socialists and Democrats are really bad at math and even worse at economic policy. But some rules still apply regardless of whether the Democrats like them. Gravity is real. What goes up does come down. And when you look at at the cost that we're bearing of illegal immigrants by the millions being a drain on our economy in terms of the cost of free health care and daycare and everything else we're seeing roll out of the Somali situation, but also the law of supply and demand is real. And as you have the illegals exit, that lowers the demand on apartments and housing and will reduce the prices so that lawful, legal Americans will get the benefits of that. Now, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. The tariff readjust that Trump did with our foreign adversaries who were keeping us out of their markets and using us and ours, our farmers are going to benefit, but you don't plant crops today and harvest them tomorrow. So the benefits of a lot of these Trump policies, including the big, beautiful bill, including bringing back investment to the U.S. to create more factories, more manufacturing, and more jobs, does take time. But a lot of that time is going to bear fruit by November.
Well, and again, some of it will take a little time. For example, grocery prices. Well, we've got the price of diesel has not come down yet, and those prices at the supermarket are not going to come down until they can get a handle on diesel. So again, I think overall we're looking at a very bright economic future here, leading into the midterms. I think a lot of it now turns to the Senate. Will Majority Leader Thune finally agree to lift the filibuster, do away with the filibuster, so we can get the SAVE Act passed?
Yeah, we've got to pass the SAVE Act. We've got to pass, some of the other legislation that has passed the House. And I'm frustrated, as you are, that the House is, only working part-time rather than continuing to pass legislation. But you got a bottleneck where the Senate won't even bring things up, much less pass anything, where, essentially one Democrat vote can block everything from appointments to passing legislation. So the ball is in the court of John Thune to adapt the rules. And these are not laws. This is just a rule of the Senate that allows the Democrats to block legislation that is passing in the House and that the American people overwhelmingly support. So Thune needs to pass the SAVE Act, make sure that we're going to have honest, legitimate elections to prevent the next election cycle from being one of theft like we've seen in the past. It's now being completely proven that they, rigged the elections in the past. Let's stop it moving forward, and let's pass the other legislation. I know Tim Burchett's on your show regularly. We're still sending $40 million a week to the Taliban in Afghanistan. Let's stop the stuff that's draining the pocketbooks of the American taxpayer, and that requires action by the Senate.
Yeah, that's a good point. By the way, Burchett wants to be chair of the DOJ committee. I would support that 1,000%.
Except that he's going to require everybody to wear Carhartt jackets at the meeting, and I'm not sure that's the right approach.
That's not
Tim's
good.
Not wrong very often. That would be the only wrong move.
Well, that's a fair point. By the way, I don't know if you've seen, there has been an uptick in outrage over NIL. And I also understand, more than 4,000 athletes jumping into the transfer portal. Do you think it's going to take Congress or President Trump stepping in to save college sports?
It's going to take somebody stepping in because, look, even the NFL doesn't allow you to change, mid-season or at halftime from one jersey to the next, because you get an uptick in what somebody's willing to pay you. They need to have contracts. They need to have longer-term contracts, and I think there are a lot of good solutions out there, but the NCAA completely dropped the ball in setting a system that would have worked. Congress failed to act to give protections to colleges and universities to be freed from, the threat of antitrust action. So I think there's a lot of hands that now to dip into the cookie jar to fix things, and the sooner the better, because this idea that, you've got some of these kids that are playing for 4 different colleges in 4 years and simply upgrading their revenue from 1 year to the next. It's just an out-of-control system that no other sports system has in place.
It's true. I mean, it's a fair point. And again, these are supposed to be student athletes, and the student part of that's getting left out of the equation.
Well, and again, if I'm a quarterback getting $3 or $4 million, I better be sharing the wealth with my linemen, or it's going to be amazing how many missed blocks end up taking out my knees.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And what a great weekend where Georgia and Alabama go down.
Yeah, the best thing about this start of this new year is I didn't have to hear Roll Tide at all this week. And that's always a good week from my standpoint. I do think it's hilarious that you've got Lane Kiffin, who left Ole Miss for LSU, he just earned a $500,000 bonus because Ole Miss won, and therefore he gets a $500,000 bonus from LSU because his carefully negotiated contract gives him the benefit of whatever Ole Miss does. He's up for, I think, another $750,000 if they win this next round, and $1 million if they win a national championship. Although Karma does still know Lane Kiffin's address, he has to play at both Ole Miss and in Knoxville this coming season.
He sure does, and that's going to be a wild game at Oxford. I can tell you that right now, Steve, because people are rightfully so. I mean, Lane Kiffin really is not a good, decent human being, and that's the problem here. He's a sleazeball.
I think the Bluebirds in Oxford and Knoxville are already warming up their lungs, 8 months ahead of the season.
Oh, no doubt about it. All right, Steve, we got to leave it there. TriStarDaily.com. Steve is publisher of that great website. You got to go check it out, TriStarDaily.com. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Thanks, my friend. Get feeling better.
All right, appreciate it. My goodness. I've been drinking this. I had another gallon of the tea here. I put it in the microwave, Dylan.
It's a slow process.
Yeah, it's a slow process.
Not an instant fix.
No, I wish it was. All right, we're going to take a break, going right to your calls. And if you are listening to us on Patriot Talk 920 in Houston, we want you to call and give them a happy anniversary shout-out, celebrating 2 wonderful years on the air. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
It's Todd Starnes.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, I stopped taking it for a while, and then it dawned on me, so I started taking it again. And I don't know, I like it. I mean, I love them. I'm never going to stop taking them. And I've got a friend that's coming over here. I'm giving her a little bit for her to go try.
I love the product. I wouldn't be without it. Ever since I started that product, I remember seeing an ad way back. That's what convinced me. I tried it, and I've been a believer. Nothing compares with it, so I'm a lifer with it. I'm not going to change.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and I get it. There are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. Not only are they leading the way in the red economy, but Patriot Mobile also outgains the competition when it comes to technology. Patriot Mobile is one of the only carriers with access to all 3 major U.S. networks. That means exceptional nationwide coverage, along with the ability to have multiple numbers on different networks on a single smartphone. Folks, it's a game changer. They also offer unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, international roaming, internet backup, and so much more. And switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You know, one of the fun things about what we do here on the Todd Stern Show, we have a lot of great young people working for the program, and many of them are interns, and then they go on to other things in life. And got to give a big shout out to Jeremiah Poff, who worked with us for several years while he was in school and then afterwards, and has just been named as the opinion editor for the Washington Post. So that's sort of exciting because Jeremiah is a rock-solid conservative. So congratulations to Jeremiah. Just got married, I think, last year. So big doings there. And we certainly celebrate all of the great work that our alumni are doing here on the Todd Stearns radio program. All right, let's go to the phone lines. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Wayne in New Bern, North Carolina, listening to us on the talk station. Hi, Wayne. What's going on?
Well, I just would like to give my support to the mission in Venezuela. I may be a little partial being retired Marine Corps, but so proud of the military and their ability to execute the mission so well. What I'm calling about is yesterday I watched the Face the Nation, where the Secretary of State, Rubio, was being interviewed. And the lady, I mean, she's kind of trying to badger him anyway, and saying how come they didn't get the other people that were indicted, as well as Maduro and his wife, which would take who knows where they all were. But that was kind of a crazy question, I thought. But my comment would be that now that Delcy Rodriguez is sworn in as the president, and she says she's cooperating, with the United States, why don't we ask her to return those other people indicted as a good faith that she's actually really cooperating, or that might push her button to show that she's really not cooperating.
Well, that is an interesting thought. As we, as we go through all of this, I think there are going to be more shoes to drop. Wayne, what do you think the real story here is? Do you think it's really about the drugs, or do you think it's about something else?
No, I actually believe drugs is so huge. I do believe it is about the drugs, but from my knowledge of the oil and stuff like this, that in the past they haven't had the capability to process it. That's why we were partners with them. And then at some point, the communists took over the country and our companies over there. So I think it's a combination of that. And the oil is truly big and will make the biggest difference on our economy and the direction we're going.
Wayne, it's a good point, and we will see how all this plays out. I think the American people are going to be surprised. This is not the last step we're going to be taking, and it's not just Venezuela. Over the weekend, we had an unusual amount of aircraft bound for the UK, which is leading folks to wonder, are we getting ready to make a strike on Iran? And again, this is a little reported story where you've got thousands of Iranians that are taking to the streets protesting the Ayatollahs. So the Shah of Iran could be reinstalled in a very short amount of time. So we're looking at massive changes that are happening around the globe that will have consequences, I think, positive consequences on the America First movement.
I'm all for it. All for it. 100% back it.
Yeah, I hear you, Wayne, and I know and I appreciate that call. Thank you. And I know there are a lot of folks out there, and you've got the MTGs and the Candace Owens and the Tucker Carlsons of the world, and they're acting as if we are launching World War III. What they don't understand here is that Trump is preventing World War III, but Trump is also protecting the homeland, which is, in fact, an America First agenda item. And for the president to do that, he needs support, not criticism, and it's unwarranted criticism from MTG. And keep in mind, all of you folks in Georgia know this, MTG, the only reason she turned against President Trump is that they told her the truth. And they told her that she would not be able to win a statewide race in the state of Georgia. And that was the end of the relationship. That's how that went. With Tucker and Candace Owens and the others, they're just, right now, Tucker is going through something. And I raised this issue back when, remember Tucker just, a couple of months back, talked about how he thought he had a dream that he was fighting with a demon, and he woke up and he said his entire body was covered in scratches and he was bleeding, and something's not right there. Something is not right. All right, we've got to take a quick break. Coming up, General John Teichert going to talk about what the Air Force did down in Venezuela. Also, New York City Councilwoman Vickie Paladino, and your calls. This is The Todd Starnes Show. Hi, this is Todd Starnes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history, and it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong. To show their appreciation, they're offering special Christmas savings exclusively for our listeners. Right now, you can get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98, My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98, and a variety of blankets, comforters, and duvets starting as low as $25. Plus, there's a major blowout deal on the standard MyPillow. Get this, only $14.98. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS to unlock these wholesale prices. That includes the standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, now just $14.98, with queen sizes marked down to $18.99 and king sizes for only $1 more. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
From Affirm Films and director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story. When John O'Leary suffers burns over 100% of his body, it's a battle for survival. But through the care and support of community heroes, John's resilience leads him to discover what it means to truly live.
The most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire.
Soul on Fire. Rated PG, parental guidance suggested. Now playing. More information is available at soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on Fire.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul declared the month of January as Muslim American Heritage Month. She ordered 16 landmarks across the state to be illuminated in green, the same color palette used by Hamas. Among the buildings illuminated to honor Muslims, One World Trade Center Freedom Tower, the tallest building in New York City. The tower stands where the Twin Towers once stood. Towers brought down by Muslims in the name of the religion of peace. Critics are enraged. City Councilwoman Vickie Paladino called it disgusting. The mayor said Muslims are resilient, compassionate, and contribute much to New York. Coming up in September, the nation will commemorate the 25th anniversary of those terrorist attacks. Every year, giant beams of light are illuminated to remind Americans of what we lost on that day. Don't be surprised if on September 11th, those beams of light are Hamas green. I've got much more to say about this at toddsterns.com.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clanging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show, Hour 3 of the big show. Wow, you know, we had a lot of Navy fans in town for the Liberty Bowl. What a great ball game. It rained cats and dogs. It was so miserable, but had a really boisterous crowd there, a lot of folks in town. I was sort of expecting to see our next guest. I know he's an Air Force fella, General John Teichert, former base commander at Edwards and Joint Base Andrews, but you have some connections to the Naval Academy as well.
Todd, I do. Good afternoon. It's another great day to be an American, and my wife is a chemistry professor at the Naval Academy, and that team dominated this year. They went 11-2. They won the bowl game there in Memphis, and we are so proud of them.
They did a great job, and of course, you know, we have a lot of Navy veterans here in the Memphis area with the what do they call it? It's in Millington, which is used to be a naval base, and now I know they do a lot of support work out of there. But we have a lot of great veterans here in the Mid-South, and it was good to see. It was good to see Navy put on a great game.
They had a superb season. They beat up on Army, which is the most important game of the year, but it was awesome to see them win that bowl game and really have a stellar season all around.
And we can't leave out Vanderbilt, which you have another connection to, but they had a tremendous season. I mean, that was shocking.
They did. My son goes there. In fact, he's painted his body. He's been a B, he's been a Y, he's been a T, and they really had a great season. They fizzled out there in the bowl game, but I'll tell you, a big win against Tennessee in Knoxville at the end of the season punctuated what was a magnificent year for Vandy.
You didn't have to bring that up, John. Come on now. It's
I know. I should know.
Got to be polite.
Better than that,
Retired General John Teichert joining us here on the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line, and we'll tell you about his book in just a minute. He's a great writer. JohnTeichert.com is the website address. And I have to tell you, it was really just jaw-dropping to watch the events unfold in Venezuela. And a lot of people were filming the video on their smartphones down there. Take us through what happened. I mean, this was a really brilliant strategy coming from the Pentagon.
It was, Todd, and it really was a brilliant demonstration of dominant U.S. military capability. The president characterized it with the words like speed, power, precision, and competence. But I love the press conference where the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Raisin Kane, described in detail 150 aircraft from 20 different bases converging to one place at one time with a singular mission focus, which was to nab Maduro and to exfil out from Venezuela. And the fact that they did so with no American loss of life in such a densely populated, highly dense air defense area really just demonstrates to the rest of the world how no one comes close to the United States of America.
You know, over the weekend, one of the you know how social media is, and they've got people watching all the flight paths and all that sort of stuff, and there was a lot of hullabaloo about an increase in air traffic from the United States to the UK. This is going to sound like a silly question, but is that problematic for the military? You know, they're trying to maybe have stage some sort of a surprise attack, and you've got folks on X that are tracking aircraft and whatnot.
Todd, it is, and it makes it all the incumbent upon military planners to have enough deception thrown into the mix about air travel so it throws people off the scent. You know, you and I had a conversation on the impending attack against Iran back in June. Similarly, you've got to weave into your planning a deception plan so that people are thrown off of the scent of what you're likely to do.
It's interesting, though, when you look at Hegseth as the war secretary, and he has gotten so much grief from the media, from Democrats, even some Senate Republicans. And yet, I mean, looks like he's doing a pretty darn good job of things right now.
Todd, I think it's important to realize that our recruiting and retention numbers are through the roof. It's because we're getting back to a focus on the mission. We're getting back to a focus on lethality and readiness. And by the way, it doesn't hurt when we demonstrate capabilities that only the American military can accomplish, like we did in Iran in June and like we did Friday night in Venezuela.
I'm wondering, General, when you look at what's happening in Venezuela, I know the president mentioned Colombia, maybe Mexico, and Cuba. From a strategy standpoint, from a military standpoint, how important is it for us to keep our enemies like China, like Russia, out of our hemisphere?
Todd, the biggest outcome from what happened on Friday is knowing that Xi in China is watching, or Putin in Russia is watching, or Kim Jong-un in North Korea are watching. Because deterrence, the ability to stop your enemies from doing the things you don't want them to do, comes down to them believing you have strength of capability and strength of will. And we provided an unquestioned demonstration of that strength of capability and will on Friday night.
Yeah, it was truly remarkable. And again, is what, under 4 hours? Is that what they said? That was just remarkable.
Well, and I think it's also important to realize that the mission was originally planned to take place 4 days prior, but was called off because of weather. So what likely was happening is every single day, those crews, the 150 planes or so, and all of those that support them, were ready to go right up to the moment where the president did or did not make the decision to go. And it was 4 days of that until Friday night. The go order was sent at around 10:26 p.m. Eastern time on Friday night.
We were hearing that there were CIA operations involved in this as well. They had boots on the ground assets. I guess they had one of the assets was actually within the inner circle there. How long does it take, on average, to plan and prepare and execute a mission like we saw take place over the weekend?
Todd, well, part of it goes back years because those assets, maybe in Maduro's inner circle, are human intelligence assets, and it takes years to cultivate those types of assets. But specifically for a plan like this, I suspect that the chairman and the U.S. Southern Command commander drew up options for the president as far back as 4 months ago, updated those options for the president, and finally the president made a decision to go on Friday night.
John Teichert joining us. Great website, johnteichert.com. That's Teichert. And not only are you a great speaker, I mean, you're retired, but I don't think you actually retired. I mean, you're busier now than I think you were in the military.
Todd, I didn't get out of the military because I wanted to start playing a lot of golf, even though I like golf. But I did so that I could make a greater impact on our country than I could in the military. And I'm working towards that by speaking, writing, media, and who knows, maybe another U.S. Senate run in the future.
Well, you'd be great up on Capitol Hill, no doubt about that. I want to talk about your book, and you've got a couple of books out. This one is on leadership. Boom. Leadership that breaks barriers, challenges convention, and ignites innovation. Sometimes when people, they write books about leadership, they leave out the part about service as well, which I have to imagine is a big part of being a leader. What is the key to being a great leader?
Todd, one of those keys is genuine care and concern for the people that are around you, helping them become the best possible version of themselves. But in order to innovate, you need to create a cycle that I call the listen, consider, act cycle, where everyone in your organization believes if they've got an idea, someone is listening, someone will consider it, and they'll take action appropriately. And if you're caring for them to help them become the best possible version of themselves and listening, considering, and acting, then you're going to unlock innate human talent, and you're going to see your team thrive.
I love this. When you're out talking and leading these seminars, is there a typical question that you would normally get from the audience?
People want to know, how do you get past toxic leaders? That's the common question. And my answer is that you find a way to resonate with the things that benefit that leader, that toxic leader, so that you speak their love language. And when you do that, you actually find a way around their toxicity, and they align with what you and your team are hoping to do. And another trick to that is you tell them what you're doing. You don't ask permission, because toxic leaders tend to say no. And if you just tell them what you're doing and why, then they tend to leave you alone.
I feel bad now. Dylan, I told you no. You wanted to take a day off last week, and I said, no, you can't do it. I'm a bad leader.
I can confirm that.
No, sometimes you got to say no. You just explain the why to the no, and then typically it's okay.
I guess I should have done that. I should have explained. I said, no, are you crazy?
Well, I think you probably have a pretty good relationship with your team there, Todd, and they know where your heart is.
They're good folks. Yeah, they're good folks here. John Teichert joining us. Also, I want to plug your devotional book. I was just reading this last night. I've got it on my nightstand, a 90-day devotional guide for American Christians, Prayers for a Nation. I just can tell you from writing a devotion book, that is a lot of work.
It is. By the way, I love your books, all of your books, Todd, and the one that came out this last year was stellar. But it was something that was in my heart, actually, when I started a ministry a decade and a half ago, plus Prayer at Lunchtime for the United States, about how the least we should do and the most we can do as concerned Christian citizens is to pray for our country and our leaders, and that devotional book helps along those lines.
All right, folks, you can get those books wherever you buy your books, or you can go to johnteichert.com and get them there. General, always good having you on the show. Appreciate the great intel.
Hey, I so appreciate it, Todd. And just another plug for Star Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Your book is stellar.
You're very kind. John Teichert, everybody, on our Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. All right, our telephone number, by the way, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. President Trump, he's been talking about Newxmax around the clock, and I greatly appreciate that. Millions of people are tuning into Newxmax. They're watching us on cable. They're going to our streaming channel, Newxmax 2. By the way, General Teichert's been a guest on my program a time or two. They're also downloading our free Newxmax app on their smartphones and TVs. Reuters says we're one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night you're going to be able to watch great shows, Carl Higbee, Rob Finnerty. Find out why Newxmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newxmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. And let President Trump know that you stand with Newxmax, real news for real people.
From the front lines of the culture wars, it's Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history, and it's because of loyal listeners like you. They're still standing strong. To show their appreciation, they're offering special Christmas savings exclusively for our listeners. Right now, you can get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for just $29.98, My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98, and a variety of blankets, comforters, and duvets starting as low as $25. Plus, there's a major blowout deal on the standard MyPillow. Get this, only $14.98. Visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS to unlock these wholesale prices. That includes the standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, now just $14.98, with queen sizes marked down to $18.99 and king sizes for only $1 more. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. There's a quiet revolution happening in America, and it's not coming from tanks or tyrants. It's creeping into classrooms, corporate boardrooms, and even some church pulpits. Live Not by Lies is a powerful new docuseries by Angel Studios based on Rod Dreier's best-selling book. It exposes the rise of soft totalitarianism in the West by drawing striking parallels with the communist regimes of the past. Now, the series features brave men and women who live under real oppression. They see the warning signs, and they're sounding the alarm. Now, this isn't a doom and gloom paranoia. It is firsthand wisdom from people who know what it's like to live without freedom. And it's a wake-up call for every American who cares about faith, family, and liberty. If you believe in preserving truth in an age of lies, well, now's the time to pay attention. Live Not by Lies is streaming now only on Angel Guild. Join today by visiting angel.com/Starnes. That's angel.com/Starnes. Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists. So if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear. Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do. Don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Well, big trouble for the Golden Arches. This is a disturbing story. Class action lawsuit. Customers across America suing McDonald's. They claim the McRib sandwich does not actually contain any pork rib meat. Really? They're surprised by that? The lawsuit claims McDonald's is deceiving customers who reasonably believed that a product named the McRib would include at least some meaningful quality of actual pork rib meat. Dylan, you ever had a McRib sandwich?
No, and this is the exact reason why. I don't trust it.
It looks like it could sort of shaped like a McRib.
It is looks can be deceiving, yeah. It looks good because it's very sauced up.
It's got the white onion there and the bright green pickle.
Yeah.
Looks very tantalizing.
It's true.
The four plaintiffs allege the sandwich does not contain any rib meat, but instead, this is terrible. If you're eating a McRib sandwich right now, just stop. Turn off the radio. Instead, they say the McRib sandwich is made up of ground-up portions of pork shoulder, pork heart, and scalded stomach. I'm scared.
Not the rib.
No, it's
anything but the rib.
I don't care how much barbecue sauce you put on that.
No.
Is it true? I want to know how they found out. Is there like somebody inside McDonald's that's like, yo, this is not really a rib sandwich?
Probably the taste.
McDonald's describes the McRib as a seasoned boneless pork dipped in a tangy barbecue sauce topped with slivered onions and tangy pickles. all served on a toasted home-style bun. Mm-mm. The lawsuit claims that McDonald's knows it is misleading consumers because it includes rib. Why don't they just call it the McBelly sandwich?
The McHeart?
The McHeart.
The McLiver? Anything.
Oh, God. Yes, I'd like the McSpleen combo meal, please.
Why would you lie? I mean, McDonald's is a huge company. Why would you not? I mean, I know it's a fast food restaurant. Come on. But, you know.
You know what I used to love at McDonald's? The nuggets.
Yeah, the nuggets.
I watched a documentary on how they make those nuggets.
Yep.
Not a fan.
Never again, right?
Never again.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, my God.
You can't get past it. It's like, this is how you know the sausage is made. And then there you go.
It's literally like sausage.
It is. It's not
disgusting.
Chicken. You may find a couple feathers in there, but it's not from a chicken.
This is terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, are you shocked? I'm just shocked that people are shocked. I'm shocked it's even meat.
I'm shocked people go to McDonald's for ribs.
That's well, that's a fair point.
Especially if you're in Memphis. Come on.
Yeah, I am not a big fan of if I will go there to eat their Big Mac, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, and we have it depends. If you've got a good McDonald's, you're going to get great, Big Macs. But the consistency is not there.
Yeah. Big Macs are like their last soldier standing on the battlefield, and he's barely hanging on.
It's true. They can't even get the milkshake machine, the ice cream machine to work.
Yeah. How are you supposed to enjoy those good fries? Which I do like McDonald's fries, but how are you supposed to enjoy them if you can't dip it in a shake?
Man,
yeah.
The McRib sandwich doesn't actually contain rib meat.
Yeah.
I think the leftists have succeeded in the dumbing down of America. That's what I think is going on here. Are you surprised by this, ladies and gentlemen? 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Let's go to Patty in Statesville, North Carolina. Patty, are you shocked by this? The McRib sandwich is not made from rib meat?
I am so shocked. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. Todd, come on, man. The only thing I love their fries, though. I agree with Dylan. Their fries are the best. I don't go and get anything else. Their fries, I just order fries, and I'm saying, see ya. I don't eat any of that food. Ugh.
The only thing worse than a McRib sandwich is that chicken sandwich that Burger King serves that is clearly, it's sort of like that. What is the wood? What is the wood that you get all the shavings together and you pack it together to create like a board? That's what their chicken sandwich is like.
But you know what? Is anybody surprised? It should be the McLye. How's McLye?
Mm-hmm. Well, fair enough.
Good one.
Fair enough.
But I called you because my girlfriend called me and said you mentioned me earlier this morning when you got on there. And she called me. She goes, Todd's going to mention you. The first thing he mentioned was Patty. Remember, because Trump and them went into Venezuela.
Yes.
You know what? If I was younger, I would be jumping right in there with those military men.
No doubt. That's right. That's what I said.
I would be in there like you would, like white on. You know what?
White on rice, baby.
You got that right. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm so sick and tired. The left, it has nothing to do with Maduro. It has nothing to do with anything.
Nope.
The left hates when Donald Trump is triumph.
That's it, Patty. And I got to leave it there. We're up against a hard break. Good to hear from you, McFib.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
And wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat. Owl. Dolphin. What does the turkey say? Whale.
Yeah, whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Gainesville, Georgia. Mark, WDUN. Mark, I understand you have a McDonald's story. Before we get to that, Mark, did you know that there was no pork in a McRib sandwich?
Yes, I knew that for years. The McRib and the McDLT, all that stuff is just bad for you. And I know this because I worked at a McDonald's in 1985.
Uh-oh.
That was my first job. I was 15, and at McDonald's, I just had to tell you the story real quick, Todd. They have these big pillow. Well, I don't know if they still do or not, but 1985, your ketchup came in these big pillow foil bags that had a spout on them. Okay, and we had to take these big foil pillow bags and flip them into a fiberglass-looking container so that we could get all the ketchup that we could use to put on the burgers as we were making them, right? So I went to flip this bag into that container. It hit the edge of the container, flipped back on me, flat. It went on the floor everywhere, right? Okay, so I didn't want to get in trouble with my boss and the manager because it was during rush lunch hour, and when this happened, and so I immediately went and grabbed a mop to mop it all up, right? She comes around the corner from the front counter. She says, "Mark, what are you doing? What are you doing?" I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I know this ketchup is expensive." I said, I flipped it. It came back. It's flat on the floor. I said, I got it under control. I'm still making the burgers. I got it. I'm cleaning it up. She says, "No, grab a spatula." I said,
No.
She said, "Put that mop down. Grab a spatula," because we had these long spatulas so we could flip like 3 or 4 burgers at a time. She said, "Try not to touch the floor, but scrape up as much of that as you can with the spatula by skimming it on the top as much as possible without touching the floor, and put it back in the container or whatever, and then we'll just saran wrap it so we don't waste that." And I was like, okay, so this is really happening, and that's what I had to do. So this is the stuff that goes on at a McDonald's since 1985. And I had to.
So disgusting.
Ever since then, no matter where I get a burger from or whatever, I always order it plain, and I'll just put the condiments on myself.
Just do it yourself. Do it yourself. Mark, you've officially grossed me out today. Thank you for that.
I'm so sorry about that, Todd, but I just had to tell you, man.
All right. Appreciate you, Mark. Jeez, Lou. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. Vickie Paladino, our favorite New York City Council person, is on the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. Vickie, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing good. I don't want to overly alarm you, but I think you guys have a communist at City Hall.
You think? Oh, over-alarm us now. We've been sounding the alarm bells now for probably 11 months.
You know what's fascinating? Vickie, I saw the guy. I saw the inauguration address. We thought that he would keep the mask on. He just ripped that mask right off.
You bet. Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, Todd, that mask has been coming off all during his campaign. Occasionally he would, lighten up what he was saying, but the message, no matter what, was still the same. And that was one of, it was socialist, but dare I step out of the box, as I always do, and say with a hint of communism. He surrounded himself with Hamas. He surrounded himself with Hezbollah leaders. He's made no bones about where his stance was. We also talked about, his father teaching, right out of the book of Karl Marx at Columbia University. The person that he put in charge as his head counsel in the city council was a lawyer for the guy he appointed is Racine something. I forgot. I'm sorry. And this is not good. And when we heard him talk, so many people were turning it on, turning it off. I listened to him. And I just could not believe what was coming out of this guy's mouth. And he made it so, if he didn't make it clear in 11 months, he pounded that drum home that we are going to find the warmth of collectivism, and we got to do away with rugged individualism. I mean, that is Karl Marx, is it not?
It's right out of the playbook. And again, when he said that, my jaw dropped, because again, we knew this is where things were going to go. But right out of the gate, Vickie, he's out there saying, this is a new day. I mean, when you look at the person in charge of what the tenants, the director of tenants there in New York City, talking about taking away homes from white people, this is insanity.
Yes. Well, he mentioned that during his campaign. He says it was a headline in the Post that he was coming after white neighborhoods. And again, people are going to be surprised. I'm talking about us New Yorkers, for not doing your due diligence and your homework, taking this kid at face value, and that you didn't have to go deep, just had to scratch the surface a little bit and find out who he is. Question is, why doesn't somebody ask Zohran Mamdani? Is he planning to be like, the king of his own little city-state here? Does he plan to be the supreme ruler and run this separate from the United States of America? Does he want to secede from the United States? Because he's talking as if everything he's talking about is completely goes against American values and our Constitution and what we built this country on. Rugged individualism. Wake up, Zohran. Built this country, okay? But this goes to show you very, very clearly where he lies in his way of thinking and what he filled his cabinet with. And who's going to be ruling the roost here. Very scary stuff.
Vickie Paladino is a New York City Councilwoman. Vickie, another thing that happened over the weekend, and I wanted to get you to weigh in on this, I am so repulsed by the decision of the governor to celebrate Muslim American Heritage Month, and she's ordered all of these landmarks, including Freedom Tower, to be illuminated in what many have described as Hamas green. I don't find that to be coincidental at all. I think this was done intentionally. Your reaction as a leader?
I was furious, beyond furious. Kathy Hochul is a very bad governor. Now I have to say she's an evil governor. She's evil. Who could do this? Who in their right mind? This is such a smack in the face to our firefighters, the 3,000 lives that were lost that day, innocent lives, the firefighters that are continuing to die, the police officers, anybody who's worked the pile, they're still dying from cancer-related illnesses. This attack on 9/11, I want to know where she was on 9/11. What was she? This is blatant smack in your face to every one of us who live here. And I remember that day, not to make light, as clear as a bell. It was crystal clear that day. I could tell you exactly where I was standing. I could tell you exactly who I was talking to. My brother died of cancer-related illnesses because he lived down there at Hanover Place. And I just cannot believe, I know she took a knee, taken a knee repeatedly in the last 6 months to this man, young man, inexperienced man. But to do this, she had better lose her reelection, which is coming up in November. We're running a Republican by the name of Bruce Blakeman against her. We don't know yet who the other candidates are going to be, but every state, assembly seat and Senate seat is up for grabs here in New York.
Well, I will say this, Vickie, going back to I remember when they were beginning the rebuilding process, remember that there was an effort made to put a mosque at ground zero. Yes. Do you remember that?
Oh, my. Oh, yes, I do. That was literally up the block by there, just about a block or half a block from the World Trade Center, from the towers. And the outrage, it was absolutely not to be believed. Here's another thing. Not to blanket coverage all Muslims, because I got in trouble once for doing that. What has the Muslim community in New York City done to build New York City? Who built those World Trade Centers, the towers? Who built the Empire State Building? What have they contributed to the fabric of New York City? What have they contributed? That we should light up buildings green in honor of Muslim month? What about Christianity? What about a month put aside for the Catholics?
It's a great question.
Do you see what's happening here? It started with Obama. When Obama separated this country by color, economics, and all sorts of things. And then we had other people, of course, successfully try to separate us. Now we got Mamdani, who is preaching the comfort and the warmth of collectivism. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, yet collectivism for who, Zohran? For who? For you and those who look like you and worship like you? You know, New York City was a melting pot for so many. And we never judged a person by color. We never judged a person by religion or their economic status here. I've lived here all my life, Todd. I'm 71 years old. And I have to tell you, this was a place where people came to aspire to be great things, whether it be on the Broadway stage or a lawyer or anything that falls in between, the newspaper business, anything. You came here to be somebody, not tear it down. And this is what this guy is doing, and the people with his mental capacity is trying to do to New York City. The caveat is this: how much are we in the city council going to allow him to get away with? The state does dictate a great deal to what happens here in New York, but we are the governing body as the city council. We make the laws. So when it comes to police and fire and first responders and what gets built and where it gets built and who gets to build it, it all comes from us here at the city level.
Vickie,
my city council, yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ramp it there. I'm super late for a break, but I want to get you back because we're going to pay very close attention. It's going to be a hard lesson for, I think, New Yorkers to learn. And I'll give you 30 seconds here to respond to this. But I'm afraid they're going to have to learn that lesson. And I think there's going to have to be pain and there's going to have to be some suffering for these radical Democrats to get it through their thick skulls that socialism will not work in America.
And that is for sure. And we're going to take a lot. You look, I've watched New York burn, and anybody who knows the city, a little bit of history here, we've watched the Bronx burn and we built it back up. We've watched the Phoenix rise again. And to just end this with a little bit of optimism, we got a battle. We're ready to fight it. And like I said, we've seen it burn before, and we hope that this guy will not do immeasurable damage that we cannot come back.
The great Vickie Paladino, everybody, on our Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. Vickie, hang in there. We're with you.
Thank you, Todd. Look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
All right. Great lady there, Vickie Paladino, member of the New York City Council. Real quick, I want to share some breaking news with you.
Breaking news now on the Todd Starnes Show.
So the Department of Homeland Security sharing this information, and they literally shared the receipts. Hilton Hotels has launched a coordinated campaign to refuse service to Department of Homeland Security law enforcement. Officers attempted to book rooms using official government emails and rates. Hilton actually sent emails to the officers saying that they would not be able to stay at any Hilton properties. We have the story, and we've got the photos of the receipts on ToddStarnes.com. I'd encourage you to go and check that out. Homeland Security saying this is unacceptable. Why is Hilton Hotel siding with murderers and rapists to deliberately undermine and impede DHS law enforcement from their mission to enforce our nation's immigration laws? It is a great question. What say you, Hilton Hotels? Go to ToddStarnes.com, read our story. You'll be able to comment about it there. We'll be right back, everybody.
You're with Todd Starnes.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a natural bodybuilder, so I know when something works and when something doesn't. I've tried so many different products. When I got your product, and like I said, I'm a natural bodybuilder, as soon as I got it, did them for a week, and I told my brother, I said, Rick, you need to try these. You know I won't give you nothing if it don't. He tried them, bam, the first day. He said, this is a good product. And I got my mom on them, and I just keep pushing your product. It's a great product. You're a great company, and everybody there I've talked to has been so kind. Great product. It does what it says it does.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all three of the main networks. Patriot Mobile's all-U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Todd. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT, code Todd.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, just got a note from one of our St. Louis listeners at Real Talk Radio, great radio stations there that carry this program. And one of the listeners was like, oh, it's not true. It's not true. Starnes just made this up. Starnes doesn't make things up, ladies and gentlemen. This is a quote from New York City Mayor Mamdani's tenant director. Her name is Sia Weaver. Now, she made these comments in 2019. I want you to listen to what she's saying about property ownership in New York City. Cut one, please.
I think the reality is that for centuries, we've really treated property as an individualized good and not a collective good. And we are going to transitioning to treating it as a collective good and towards a model of shared equity will require that we think about it differently. And it will mean that families, especially white families, but some POC families who are homeowners as well, are going to have a different relationship to property than the one that we currently have.
So again, we don't. I didn't make that up. These are the words coming from the woman who is now the tenant director, a member of the New York City mayor's official cabinet. And it seems to me, if you are a white person, especially, and you own property in New York City, you may want to consider selling that property, because it certainly sounds as if they're treating home ownership as if it is a symptom of white supremacy, and they're coming after you. So we're really doing all of you. And by the way, this is going to impact, but if you want to know who it's going to impact all you white libtards out there. I mean, that's ultimately who's going to be impacted by all of this. But it's a mighty sad day that, you work all your life, you're buying, and by the way, I mean, there's not a lot of bang for the buck when it comes to buying real estate in New York City, but you've got your one bedroom apartment there, and you're going to have to share it with some guy named, I don't know, Tomas from El Salvador, because you can't own property in New York City anymore. I'm not sure I agree with that assessment. But again, ladies and gentlemen, we come armed with the truth and the facts here on this radio program. Always remember that. All right, we've got to get out of here. We'll see you tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern on the Todd Stearns TV show, Newxmax 2. We'll see you back here on the radio tomorrow at noon o'clock. Be good, America. America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that